Welcome to Accelerate My Practice. So glad you could join me here today. Today, I want to talk about time management. Last week we shot a show kind of talking about New Year's resolutions. We talked about how to gain leverage on yourself, how to get all fired up. And one of the biggest things that derails that process is time management. Having enough time, feeling like you have enough time, not feeling overwhelmed to where that derails the process. You're motivated, you're fired up, but you're being pulled in so many directions that you end up being pulled every direction but the one you want to go. And so I want to spend some time on that. And really what that comes down to is living with intentionality. And in a minute or two, I'm going to play a video of Covey, shot in like 1980, which you'll be able to tell from the fashion. But it's a wonderful, wonderful video talking about prioritization and how to have your life structured such that you don't get pulled sideways. Because it's just such a pervasive issue. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. I look at my exercise goals and how well I'm exercising, and I know I'm not doing what I want to do. Do I feel healthy? Sure, because I eat wonderfully. But do I feel like totally fired up and excited physically? Maybe not. And I'm guilty of all of this. I don't want to stand here saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I want to spend time on intentionality. Intentionality is the key, having a plan. And one of the things that I find is if we write up a plan, per what you'll see in this moment with this video, and we really review this, we go through it, we have it, like I talked about last week, if you review it every single week, your odds of success get so much better because it creates the intentionality and it creates the consistency. And all of you guys with your dental offices do this. You already schedule this way, right? You have your big procedures scheduled where you want and you fill in the blanks with the little stuff. The challenge is that when it comes to us living with what's important to us, we don't label those things the big stuff. Right? We don't always take the time to go on a date with your spouse, to take the time to go on a date with your kids. We don't always take the time and prioritize these things for whatever reason. So the first thing that we need to do is the homework that you did last week on talking about what's important to you. What is it you want to accomplish? What are those goals? Those need to become things of priorities. They need to be broken down into categories to where we can structure our lives around these categories. And if we do that, it'll give us that ability to have a more consistent plan. It's incredible to me how we don't end up living purposefully. We do in our dental schedule, right? We put our big procedure in the morning, maybe that's how you like it, at 8 o'clock. You've got another big one at 10:30, and one at 2 o'clock after lunch, whatever it might be. And then you fill in all the little procedures and all the emergencies in between. We live this often in our dental office. And if you're not living that in your schedule, by the way, in your dental office, we need to have another conversation about how to schedule yourself better. But from a personal perspective, how many of us aren't living that same thing? How many of us, we have these goals every year, and the reason why we never accomplish them or haven't in the past is because we never scheduled it. That's why I thought this would be a great follow-up to last week. You're all fired up, you got the leverage on your goal, you got all that emotional leverage, you want to have it happen, you're reading it every single, how many of you have been reading it every day, by the way, since last week when you watched this? If you haven't, revisit the leverage part. But anyway, you've been reading it every single week, and now all of a sudden you're like, man, I can't figure out where to get it in. It's a scheduling game. It's not been planned appropriately. We're allowing all the fires of our lives to dictate our behaviors. We're not living with intentionality. So take the time to block schedule your life around those big rocks, those big important things. You've got that energy to do stuff. If you're feeding yourself good food, if you're exercising, stretching, taking care of yourself to where you're not falling out of bed, but instead you're jumping out of bed with excitement, so many other things become easier. What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.